The original Witcher game is perhaps one of the strangest games I think I've ever played in my entire life. It is an action-adventure, role-playing, collectible card game, which is just a weird melding of genres I've never seen before. Your goal is to become a card master by acquiring all of the cards and building the strongest deck possible. Then you battle other potential card masters in a competitive card game that is kinda like Yu-Gi-Oh! In fact, it feels very similar to Yu-Gi-Oh! But the weirdness does not stop there. After acquiring your first starter deck, do you know how you obtain more cards? Is it by slaying monsters? No, not really. Is it by purchasing booster packs with real-life currency? Nope. Every card in this game depicts a scantily clad woman, and it can be acquired by seducing her and then having sex with her.
Follow me.
Just let that sink in for a moment. How many games are like this? How many games are even remotely like this? The entire point of this game is to have sex with women who are then imprisoned in cards so that you can use them in a card battling competition to become the ultimate card master. It's kind of like Pokemon, if your dick was a Pokeball. There are about 50 cards in this game, and their strength is a reflection of how difficult they are to get. For example, the prostitute cards are probably the easiest to get. You just go up to the brothel or the inn and find a willing woman, and bam, you got a couple of really low-level cards. There are much better cards to be obtained if you actually complete a few quests for some of the named women around town. They usually want something simple, kill a couple of monsters, bring some pelts, maybe some jewelry, and once you've done their minor task, they will submit to you, and then you have a pretty decent card. But if you want to get the best cards, you're going to have to really dedicate yourself to a couple of key women. Women that have very long, tedious quests. Like this girl here, Shawnee, she made me find a bunch of flowers, and then wanted me to bring medicine to the hospital, and then I had to dig up a corpse so she could autopsy it. She was just incessant. But in the end, I finally was able to get with her, and I turned her into a card, and it was probably the best card in my deck. Once you have a decent deck built up, you can fight pretty much every man in the game. Most of them have pretty low-level cards. In fact, if you fight the ugliest men in town, the prostitute will be the only card in their deck, which is this guy. He's had such a rough time. He's only got prostitutes in his deck. What a poor fool. A lot of the other named characters have stronger decks, and then there's this one guy here named Siegfried. This guy is your rival. He is the person you are competing against constantly. He's kind of like Gary Oak, Seto Kaiba, and Donald Duck all rolled up into one, because he just seduces all the women. He is handsome and suave, and he has no difficulty getting his hands on other strong cards. In fact, this is where the main challenge of the game comes from, because you have to seduce women before he does. It's a race of seduction, this is the weirdest thing I've ever done, and I've played Katamari Damacy. That was pretty weird. If you take too long to seduce a woman, Siegfried will beat you to it. He will strengthen his own deck while depriving you of the opportunity to improve yours. And sometimes the game throws a curveball at you and you have to make a choice between two women, and whichever one you don't pick, he gets the other one. So not only is there strategy in the card game itself, there is strategy in acquiring the cards in the first place. It is very unique. It is a very unique game, I must say. Honestly, I am surprised I haven't heard of this game before, and I'm surprised this hasn't gotten more attention. It is just a very weird game.